Just in case you're not familiar with the HGC rule set, the loser always determines if they want to have that first pick, first ban, or if they want to have the map choice, giving first pick and first ban to the other team then. And it looks like HotsLady prefers the first ban, first pick, which is actually something that most teams prefer in general, because it allows you to basically set up a nice pavement for your overall strategy if you go for that first pick, first ban.
I will say, I'm quite surprised that eStar didn't pick and HotsLady didn't ban out Towers of Doom here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally have a policy of, if you believe that there is possibly even a slight to reasonable skill difference between you and the other team, you don't pick towers. Because that is a map where just these slight differences in skill will just destroy you super hard.
Let's put it this way, on Towers of Doom there is no space left for cheese, because you just can't really surprise someone with a Zeratul VP wombo combo strategy and then march for the core if you manage to get a nice teamfight like that in the late game. On Towers of Doom you basically have to wait until the altars spawn, until the boss is ready, in order to get damage done to the enemy core. So very good point, Tetra.
You can win a team fight. HotsLady could 5-man wipe eStar late game after losing the entire game so far, and it wouldn't be as simple as the other maps of we're just going to go to core now.
Yeah.
You're going to have to wait like a minute for the next objective, and by that time the enemy's respawned, and then you're in the exact same situation as you had before, just with more XP.
Yeah, maybe if Tempo Storm heeded our call, they wouldn't have had to face Fnatic on Towers of Doom, and they wouldn't have had to lose 40-0. Oh, sorry about that. I just have to get rid of it every single time. I feel so bad.
Exercise the BM demons, it's all good. And just shield bans. Exercise the shield demons.
I think we could probably just have a default ban every single time with Tassera and Zarya on the game.
It gets to the point where we start phoning it in so much that it's just a soundboard for us, where it's just like different buttons and it's just quotes like, oh, shield bans, and oh my god, a mosh pit! And just stuff like, just little buttons.
Right, by the way, sorry, it's a little bit off topic here, but which abomination of a person would ever put pineapple on their pizza or even on their Hawaii toast?
Thank you.
This is just
very much off topic, but I agree.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Valera seems like the kind of person who would put pineapple on a pizza.
I think so.
We see Malfurion as first pick for HotsLady this time, able to steal that away straight away.
Yep, Malfurion no longer in the hands of eStar this time around, and I think that's very much precisely the reason why HotsLady wanted to have that first pick, first ban, because they felt like they didn't want to ban a Malf, they wanted to pick him for themselves so that eStar would no longer get this double support wombo combo. Remains to be seen what eStar is going to counter to that. I think they're going to play... Oh, okay, that was not what I was going to expect. A Turiel, who has actually never found his way into the Chinese League so far. Next to Arthas and Anubarak, he is the one warrior that is popular around the world. But China, they were a little bit hesitant, reluctant, but finally they're here, in the hands of eStar.
Yeah, and that's very interesting. The Tyrael leads into many, many aggressive options in terms of melee heroes. The Sonya, for example, which you said HotsLady found quite popular. Chance it could be stolen away by eStar.
Yeah, it really looks like eStar might potentially go for that infamous death ball, like Dreadnought always wants to call it, with a Sanctification, Sonya, Reg, or Bloodlust, maybe. I'm not saying that this is what they're definitely going to do, but it could be an option here, and I think HotsLady should consider that into their battle plan.
They may have to here. We're currently waiting to see what their next pick will be, or it could be on Kendrick Stream for all I know because of the delay. We're seeing Gul'dan getting locked in, and Tychus. Gul'dan and Malfurion work very well together thanks to Innovate and just the good healing over time. And Tychus, an interesting pick. It does, once again, the overkill gives you a good chance for kiting if you are dealing with one of those Death Ball style comms, especially if you take the Lead Rain. Very underrated talent for dealing with that kind of situation.
I totally agree, and I think that Gul'dan is a high priority hero on this map in general. It's actually first ban first pick material as well, because he offers so much on a small map, on a rotation heavy map like Tombs of Queen, where he's just able to shred minion wave after minion wave. And especially in the early game, it's really hard to get to him because you don't always have enough damage to lock him down and burst him down immediately. And with a support like Malfurion at his side that can constantly replenish his health pool over time, allowing him to life tap over and over again, is just a very, very dangerous thing to face. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if eStar went for even more engage. Also, keep in mind that the ETC ban is kind of another indicator that they don't want anyone in the enemy team that could potentially stun or knock back multiple people at the same time if they really go for that melee death ball.
Indeed, which I want your opinion just quickly. Falset maybe over the Tychus might have worked in their situation.
I definitely think so, yeah.
With the Mighty Gust 4, the disengage. The grenade does work, and once again we already talked about the overkill kiting can also work very well. But it's the fact of you would have gone all in on that counter engage, and then eStar would have gone for something else. This is HotsLady playing a little bit safe with what they wanted to do here. We see eStar bringing out the Muradin here, the Tychus protection working well, and there is the Greymane, that aggressive back/frontliner to really get some value.
Now, eStar's draft speaks a clear language. They want to engage hard and heavy, and they want to take down an enemy target as quickly as possible. And we see Diablo being HotsLady's weapon of choice to disengage and peel for the backline. Now, a solo tank Diablo is something we're not used to seeing that much, especially not in the Chinese scene, where it's oftentimes a Johanna, and I would have actually considered a Johanna a little bit more over the Diablo, because I'm not sure if Diablo has enough mobility, has enough peel to really cover the backline. However, keep in mind that there are certain defensive tools, like, you know, a overpower into the opposite direction, a knockback on the shadow charge, or a defensively used Apocalypse.
There is also the potential of the Void Prism into Apocalypse to try and counter that engagement. And the one thing that is a really solid counter to Sanctification is Void Prism, because it doesn't freeze the Sanctification. The Sanctification will expire as that Void Prism does go on. So basically, with second Sanks dropped, you drop the VP on it, drop the Apocalypse for the second it expires, and you're able to turn an opponent's all-in circle into a death circle very quickly.
Now, we don't see another melee hero for eStar. Nothing like a Sonya, for example, which would have been a potential choice maybe with a Leap engage. We see Li Ming instead. Now, I'm not sure if Li Ming is good on this map in particular. We tend to see her on poke-heavy maps like Battlefield of Eternity, for example, or Infernal Shrines, but not on a full rotation map like Tomb of Queen. Of course, I could be wrong about that, because I don't claim to be better at the game than eStar. However, I think they lack wave clear now, Tetra, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so. They're going to struggle a little bit. If they can get good orb angles, they're going to be fine, but that's going to require very good positioning a lot of the time. Muradin doesn't offer a huge amount. Going to be interesting to see what they can really do. This Greymane offers reasonable wave clear, but there's a good chance he will be in the solo lane.
Now, chat is already going crazy about a potential Judgment play. Now, don't get me wrong, the Judgment play or the Judgment build has become a little bit more popular due to the way Tyrael is now designed as a hero, with magic armor and some of the talents no longer in his repertoire like Imposing Will. But I don't think they can rely on a huge risk like Judgment in this game. I definitely think they want to go Sanctification nonetheless, especially against that wombo combo VP Apocalypse potential from HotsLady, don't you think?
I would agree. You definitely need the Sanctification to try and counter that, even though it is potentially abusable. The value is just too high. If you can outweight your opponents, basically, like, they're going to be waiting for you to drop that Sank so that they can work around it, either by retreating or setting up a counter-engage. Or you need to wait out your Sanctification until you've baited out that Apocalypse by maybe grouping up so you can split up. You need to be so careful with it. I agree. We are loading into game number 2 between eStar and HotsLady, or at least I thought we were. That's always the shot they use for loading in. How dare they? They baited me.
They baited poor little Tetra, who can't even display his disappointment in facial expressions because he remains... I
actually am. This is my disappointed face.
He remains frozen in time for now, at least on our overlays. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 on Tomb of Queen between eStar and HotsLady. Now, eStar in blue is being represented by Rhaegar, Greymane, Muradin, Li Ming, and Tyrael for the first time in the Chinese HGC.
Welcome, Teriel. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side, it is going to be HotsLady. And playing for them, when they eventually swap sides, that was a very long intro for eStar.
Yeah.
Playing for HotsLady on the other side, it is going to be Tychus, Zeratul, Malfurion, Gul'dan, and Diablo. Diablo going for the extra healing talent, get them souls to get that fountain and globe healing up to 36% of your maximum health at lower levels once you get 100 souls. And Gul'dan with that Fell Flame talent going to build up the maximum damage build.
Yeah. Somewhere Horsepants is nodding silently in approval when he sees that Devil's Due. I know he's a big fan of that talent, and he was probably one of the first people to use it on a regular basis. Now, on this map, though, it's so good because, as you said, distances are so short between each lane, so you're going to have plenty of options to pick up those regen globes, and you can really just stay or keep on pushing in the late game. Ooh, a nice fancy juke here by TY. Or is it going to be enough, though?
Nicely done. Diablo coming in to try and punish H for that dive there, but H able to back up. So we see Kitty able to survive and continue to rotate between the lanes with his team, but he's still getting harassed even in the rotation. eStar with the aggressive positioning.
And keep an eye on the scouting drone placement here from Lias. I really think it's great to know where to place them, because a lot of people in Hero League, they just keep on placing them in bushes exclusively. But keep in mind that if you place them outside of a bush or outside of vision obscured area, you can still see into those bushes, and it's going to be much harder for the enemy team to actually attack them if they're close to your base. So very, very nicely done here by Lias. But what is not so nicely done was Gul'dan's place and positioning here. Beautiful takedown by X, and he really utilizes Turiel's mobility to the fullest here. Well played, but it is now Tiger who is in danger.
X was actually engaged upon there. He was able to teleport to where Gul'dan was waiting to try and punish him for where he was positioned and where he'd thrown his sword. But Li Ming able to react in time. Tiger not only saving his teammate, but guaranteeing the kill as well with the beautiful missiles. Very nicely played.
Yeah.
And for now, HotsLady just heading back to their rotation. Gul'dan's already back. They're able to clear up lanes very, very quickly. And Zeratul heading back down to the bot lane to continue soaking.
Yes, indeed. And we see for some miraculous reason that eStar is actually out-rotating HotsLady, which is something I thought would not really be possible when you have a Gul'dan. A Tychus is also really good at wave clear on the enemy side, and your only true wave clear is actually Grayman with that cocktail build. And guess what? He's sitting in that bottom lane, so there's really nothing for eStar except for Rehgar maybe with that lightning bond that is allowing you to push minion waves very fast. So it kind of baffles me. Yeah.
He has the mana shield.
Yeah, yes.
That is it's a lightning shield build for Rehgar here, just going for the full wave clear. Going to be able to span that out a lot, which does clear very quickly. Oh, Zeratul barely able to escape there, but that was a brutal engagement by eStar.
That was a brutal one indeed. And keep in mind that when you bring someone down as low as Zeratul was in that situation, it's almost as good as killing them, because as you saw, Zeratul was forced to teleport back to base to fill up his mana and HP, and by the time he arrives, it might actually be too late for Gul'dan, because KTY once again outmanned and outgunned. This is not going well for HotsLady.
Xing Si immediately turning around onto the fort, not even retreating. When Zeratul showed up, they're like, no, we can finish this. Rehgar, even though he has that lightning bond on him, not utilizing it by positioning himself aggressively, instead staying back in case of this exact situation where Zeratul puts pressure on so that he can pull back and heal his team as they need it.
Yeah. Now, I once again want to talk about this lightning shield build from Rehgar. Being a Rehgar main myself, this kind of fascinates me, but also shocks me a little bit, because I don't think it's a talent build that I would ever go for. At least he doesn't go for any other shenanigan talents at level 7. Good old Cleanse still finds his way.
Lightning shield talent at level
exactly. Keep in mind, though,
that
there actually is a lightning shield talent at level 16 called Rising Storm, which I'm a big fan of.
I like it as well.
I really do like it. It basically gets more damage done the more it hits enemy heroes. With every hit, its next tick is going to provide more damage, and it's actually really underestimated in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure that SW770, oh man, that's a hard name to pronounce, is probably going to go for that one.
Yeah, we will have to see. Remember, Lightning Bond is an untalented shield that applies to Rehgar, so he does not get the benefits from it. Otherwise, it would be very good. He'd have some great mana regen from that.
You oftentimes see those Lightning Shields builds when Arthas is in your team as well, because people normally have a hard time running away from Arthas, so when he slows people with his Frozen Tempest, the Rising Storm gets tremendous value in.
Yeah, you just bung a shield, you just bung lightning shield on him and watch him walk into people and kill them. Very satisfying. But for now we're seeing Xingzi continuing to harass this top lane. They already have taken down bot. Good kill there onto Gul'dan. Again, punishing Tiger. This time he's making up for the deaths he had last time by just being an absolute monster. Speaking of monster, down goes Diablo.
Gets another one in here. Tiger is literally on fire with that Li Ming in this game. It really seemed like he was almost listening to our cast, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna show that Kendrick and Tetra how to play the game, man. I want those two scrubs to talk smack about me." But Tiger definitely so far bringing the pain, and it looks like HotsLady is actually doing even worse than last time. They were so far behind, 3 levels already. They have nothing to really put against that aggressive playstyle from eStar. The Tyrael just goes deep, and Bloodless is being picked here, by the way. There we go.
Greymane still yet to pick his. Both would work here. The Cursed Bullet would be nice for blowing up Diablo. Go for the throat. Be beautiful for finishing off Gul'dan and making his game even more miserable. Boss taken easily by eStar. No contention at all.
It just keeps getting from bad to worse for HotsLady in this game. I think like they're getting out-rotated, they're getting outclassed. Their Gul'dan so far has had little effect to no effect even. And if a Gul'dan is struggling early on, it is normally very bad for the rest of his team in general, because you need Gul'dan to fill up his questing talents relatively soon, no matter if you go for the E build or the Q build, right? And if you don't get those stacks, his combat performance is going to suffer tremendously. And you know who else is going to suffer? Zeratul. Oz is no more, and that leaves HotsLady in a 4 versus 5 situation. That is a disaster, because not only is eStar already closing in on that keep, but also they're being supported by a boss.
Yeah, and the boss still has a quarter health. They're able to kill off Gul'dan, going for more. They want mouth. They will get him. Tigers will escape there. 16 wanted it. Not able to finish off that kill, but they will easily get the keep.
Compared to this game, the World of Warcraft cinematic, where Illidan basically just annihilated Gul'dan, looks like a fairy tale. A happy fairy tale with a happy ending, because so far, Gul'dan is getting crushed left, right, and center. The moment he just freezes himself in lane to basically get his life drain up, he's getting jumped on by Greymane, jumped on by Tyrael, Murden's in the fray as well, and they're just crushing him.
Yeah, and Diablo, he's attempting just to add some more CC here by taking that diabolical momentum here to try and just get him some kind of lockdown to help his team pre-level 10, which they are finally about to be able to get here. Diablo in full retreat here.
Yeah, Diablo not even going for the soul shield here. He doesn't have time to build up tankiness here, because he's likely going to fall over and over again, probably going to lose all of those stacks in the process. So Carlo goes for the more, practical route. He goes for cooldown protection, which is something he's always going to have, even if he ends up dying and losing all of his stacks.
Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult with things against the Muradin that will slow attack speed, but he's still going to try it. Can still get some good value. He can see Tiger. He has that extra charge range. He could engage her, but it's so risky with the enemy team hovering around. He's not taking it. He is playing further back, waiting for his team's opportunity. Zeratul, Ooze has that VP. They have everything they need. And Ooze actually does get revealed and takes half his health worth of damage there. Oh my god, down he
goodness!
goes. We're seeing Gul'dan is able to escape this time, and they finally are able to grab themselves a kill by taking it down Li Ming.
That was an important one as well, and I think Tiger just got a little bit overzealous here after seeing Zeratul getting blown up to pieces that fast, which was actually pretty insane to see. I think Xingzi on that Greymane once again basically shows why he's considered to be one of the world's best ranged assassin players. This is still a precarious situation for HotsLady to be in. They're basically having a naked lane and top lane already, but they go for the engage this time. The Diablo Apocalypse connects as well. The counter Bloodless here, is it going to be enough? They turn this around beautifully, Tetcher.
They tried to kill Tyrael before he could sack. They couldn't make it. Instead, they're moving on. We now see eStar were moving in there, but they've got maybe a bit too deep. A lot of damage dropped by Gul'dan, but Zeratul, he tried to punish it and gets completely turned on. We're going to see the last keep fall, and eStar, they were thinking about ending, but their health bars are too low. Looks like they're going to try and just wrap around and grab someone here. Diablo returning, he had enough souls, but now he is just completely surrounded, finished off. And that mid keep actually is surviving. The web weaver was just wiped by Gul'dan there.
Patience is a virtue, and it gets shown in Heroes of the Storm multiple times when you're just patient enough to wait until the enemy hard engage is over, and then you turn it around with a beautiful Sanctification, a beautiful Bloodlust as well, to provide movement speed and health regen, or life leech I should say. And this was basically just all planned and baited out by eStar. They knew that they didn't have to fear of getting killed immediately after that. Perfect synergy between Zeratul and Diablo. Keep in mind that there's also a huge level disadvantage, so in terms of scaling, in terms of damage scaling, HotsLady just isn't really there to take anyone down very quickly from eStar. So man, that was just super well executed on the side of eStar, and I almost feel sorry for HotsLady because this looked so good in the beginning.
It did look okay in the beginning and in the first game, but this game is not looking good for them at all. They are very much on the
50% health on
Ooze. Finished it. Gul'dan has finished the stacks.
After 10 minutes and 55 seconds, when 3 keeps are down, that comes a little bit too late, my friend.
There's always hope, friend. Remember the Hero League attitude, there is always hope.
Yes.
Listen to Ariel. eStar moving in to try to steal the HotsLady Bruiser camp, but look at Ooze. VP is ready. They're thinking about it. They get the vision using Gul'dan, poking over the wall.
Yeah.
Not going to commit there. They're looking for a better position. They didn't have vision of a couple people. Reasoning for that, though, is they're currently doing boss again.
HotsLady even had vision there with a scouting drone as well, so they were perfectly aware of the situation here, but there was just nothing they could do. It almost feels like you're a kindergarten child and you just have to watch your older brother taking away all your candies from you, and there's nothing you can do. Just other than just stay away and stay out of trouble. There's nothing else you can do.
Maybe we're seeing X move in, trying to take down Ooze. He has to drop Sank on himself. His team's a little bit far away there, a little bit of a whiff on the engage. KTY backing up. The orb is good though, and Gul'dan able to get the kill actually onto Tyrael. We're seeing Li Ming in a perfect position to just murder him though. There is the Calamity, and they're able to get the full team wipe except for Zeratul, who was able to sneak away. But the core with a boss on it, it is a 4 versus 1. That is going to be GG and eStar taking game number 2.
They take it in glorious fashion. eStar once again showing that they are the Titan in China right now. And this game probably looked even more one-sided than the first one. I don't really know at that stage what HotsLady could do to prevent that trend from really happening again on map number 3. I think they are probably just going to have to play a map now. I don't think the first pick, first ban did anything really for them because eStar is too flexible of a team. And you can really see them being kind of vocal here as well. Their team captain Carlo here really trying to motivate his fellow teammates again. But I think they should just pick a map that really suits their playstyle and maybe go from there, because the hero prioritization didn't work. They can't outdraft a team like eStar, who's just too flexible and too strong.
And maps-wise, you suggested Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah.
For starters. I would still, once again, emphasize that they should 100% avoid towers. They're going to have a very miserable time there unless they've got just a crazy team fight comp and they think they can out-rotate, which is, I'm not sure they can, quite honestly. So
yeah,
I agree. Battlefield of Eternity would probably be their best chance at sneaking a win in here. Yeah. I would have said Braxis as well, but it's banned, so have to deal with what you got.
It's just really, really rough because first game was played on Sky Temple. This is basically all about, you know, just objective prioritization, go for temples, go for bosses over and over again. HotsLady wasn't really able to keep up. Then they played on Temple's Banner Queen, which is more about rotating and going for early ganks and early team fights. Didn't really work out for them either. So I'm not really sure what they could pick at this stage that could really help them out. Maybe it's Battlefield Eternity, maybe for some reason they end up getting the first Immortal and can snowball from there. I think this is basically their only chance to really go for a snowballing map, because either are they going to get steamrolled again, or for some miraculous reason they can turn the tides and be the ones steamrolling, and I think that is really what they need. They need to have an objective that really works in their favor.
Yeah, that is going to be what they will attempt to do, but against eStar, we can talk about what they need to do all the time. eStar is going to basically make it very difficult for them. There is a significant skill difference currently between these two teams. So, like you were saying, there has to be some kind of change in philosophy at minimum. coming out of HotsLady. But eStar, we saw Grey main there. 3 and 10 in terms of kills, assists, 0 deaths.
Sing-Si, he's a monster, man. He's actually, I would actually put him in the top 3 of global ranged assassins players. Like, he is just a monster. If I had to put up my own top 3, it would probably be SCSC, Sing-Si, and Mene. Those would be my top 3.
Those are the exact ones I would also pick.
Nice.